Hey UConn Nation, it's KK Arnold here. If you're looking for the latest UConn women's basketball content, go subscribe to listen up to Phil and Ryan. Go Huskies!
All right, thank you, KK. Like always, Ryan, take two, huh? Phil and Ryan on Listen Up. um, hey, usually we don't talk about football. We're here for a last check-in on this very early, what is this, Tuesday, Ryan, January the 9th, as we have a date against Providence, actually in UConn. So that's a good thing. Back home for a change. But I want to shout out to who, Ryan? To Michigan, national champions.
Yeah, congratulations to Michigan. Didn't get to watch the game. I forgot I forgot it was even on. I worked so late tonight, but yeah, Michigan definitely well deserved for the national champs of college football.
My man Jim Harbaugh for now and forever. All right, Ryan, let's go ahead and get on down in what we're really here for, and that is UConn women's basketball. Ryan, actually, this is interesting because I took a look. I can't wait to see what your take is, and your predictions, like always at the end of the video. So here we go. I looked at the roster earlier today and I thought to myself, I'm going to take a look at the schedule while you're going over the breakdown. And I thought, man, Brian, this is a very young team. Something that we don't say a lot about UConn Huskies, especially the Big East opponents, because we're so used to all these names, Ryan, like we said, this name, that name. But Ryan, there's a total of three. That's right, just three seniors on this whole roster. So the three bigs led by Grace Ifosa, you have who else, Ryan? It's a senior. I know I saw three of them here. I'm trying to scroll down now to see graduate student, I guess, Lauren Edwards, and then graduate student, help me out here. I don't say, oh, okay, Bryn Farrell, a senior. So those are the three. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm seeing all the other ones, juniors and freshmen, either maybe a couple sophomores. What do you have there for me, Providence? Obviously, I think you and I, everyone else expects UConn to keep rolling tomorrow night. But what do you have?
Yeah, Ashland Shade won Big East Freshman of the Year, Big East Freshman of the Week. I
He
keep
did it
I
again.
keep calling it I keep calling it of the year
You're ready. You're
awards.
ready for this year to come to an end, I think.
I know. I'm so excited for some of these UConn Huskies to win yearly awards, but not quite yet. Weekly Big East Freshman of the Year. I'm pretty sure a UConn Husky freshman has won this honor every single week of the season so
mhm.
far for the Big East. So definitely expecting the UConn Huskies freshmen to keep on doing their thing and
Yeah.
probably keep on winning this award just about every single week left in the season. But UConn did move down one spot in the AP poll to number 13 after
Mhm.
going to Omaha and defeating Creighton and also
Mhm.
defeating Georgetown and DC. If I had to guess, it's probably because of the injury to Aubrey Griffin. Has
Yeah.
something to do with UConn going down a spot. UConn
Mhm.
already has three players out for the season, and only nine available players right now with Caroline and Aubrey sideline. Huskies return home to play Providence on Wednesday night. I suspect we should probably hear some news about Aubrey Griffin here pretty soon now that the Huskies have returned home and get a final word on what her status and what her injury actually is. But Providence Friars coming into this game 2-1 in Big East play, overall record of 8-8. It's kind of been an up and down year so far for the Friars, but junior guard Olivia Olson hopes to steady the ship for the Providence Friars and keep them above 500. Olson leads the team in points, rebounds, blocks, and steals per game this season for the Friars. Junior guard Bryn Farrell, senior forward Marta Morales Romero have also been putting up pretty solid numbers so far this season. Unfortunately for Province, they do have to travel to the XL Center to play the Huskies when they're uh, playing their best basketball so far of the year. Huge winning streak, a lot of momentum for UConn. I think it's going to be a pretty tough game for Providence, in my opinion. Again, I just don't really feel like this game's going to be too close. I thought Creighton and Marquette would be the two teams in the Big East that would give UConn some trouble, but it turns out I was wrong about that, at least in their first matchup. But just the way UConn's been playing right now, it really does look like they can pretty much roll through almost all of these Big East teams, the way that they've looked for, I believe, the first 4 games they've played so far in the Big East.
Yeah, and you take a look at the schedule. So Providence is coming off of a loss to St. John's, Ryan, New York, that is. So yeah, can't wait to see it tomorrow night. And I know for a change, I think you'll be able to conclude a game recap, something that you haven't done in a while. Although we're not going to count the one, what was that? I guess yesterday, 2 days ago, whenever we went down to DC. Not going to count that one. You were trying to relax, you told me during that one, but you said your mind was spinning, so you kind of couldn't relax.
Yeah, yeah, always thinking about what I'm gonna say for the game recap.
All right, Ryan, let's go ahead and get down on into comments here. This was from a Capital win. How about we go over to Jason D'Amico in these comments? And he goes, solid team play today. G-Town tried to bully the Huskies early, but the Huskies were not having it. I thought Nika was going to have serious foul trouble out of the gate, but then she had a hell of a game. Great recap, fellas. P.S. A lot of people are upset that Paige sat the entire fourth quarter. I totally agree with it. Keep that woman safe. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it. I would actually be disagreeing with Jason D'Amico if it was not for the injury history. But when you take a look at the history and just overall, it's like I can't even come up with words. But we're talking about one player, Paige Beckers, but just the injury history, just the history. Let alone her injury history and the injury bug rather. Yeah, I agree with it, man. You're up big. Sit down.
Yeah, it did kind of seem like that Georgetown, it kind of was part of their game plan. It almost seemed like to kind of rough up UConn a little bit and kind of get in their heads, and kind of just be more aggressive than what we're usually used to from the opponents that UConn play. But yeah, I think Ashland played almost the whole game, 39 minutes out of the 40 minutes, kind of playing the Iron Man role for this team, at least in that game. But yeah, I mean, I guess I kind of agree with the call to keep Page sidelined for the whole fourth quarter. I did realize that now that Jason reminded us of it. I do remember
Yeah.
seeing that at the game. But yeah,
Mhm.
I have to agree with that as well. As big of a lead as they had, get a Ness some playing time, Amari, and of course Ashwin received a lot or a couple more minutes than what she's used to seeing.
This is interesting. When Jay Johnson, UConn's small lineup will continue to cause matchup problems, but at some point around turning time, not during the Big East schedule, I think the lack of size and depth will backfire. They will get pounded inside and on the boards, and if Edwards gets in foul trouble, it's curtains. But we can't deny that the style they are playing right now is the best option, and it's working. Out of respect for Gino Page and the history of the program, I still had them getting to the Elite Eight with a dark horse chance of getting to the Final Four. Oh, Ryan likes that this early in the morning.
Yeah, I definitely can't disagree with that. And it might turn out to be a tough reality, like they were kind of saying when it comes down time that when we get to March Madness and around the Sweet 16, Elite Eight, when you're playing some of the best teams in the nation, it's definitely not going to be easy because of all the players that unfortunately have to be sidelined due to injury. But like we've been saying, we're gonna believe in the team, and I think the team really does believe in themselves. And no matter who's on the floor, or how many players or are available or are not available to play, I think they still believe that they can do it. But yeah, I mean, it seems to be working so far with the small lineup that they've been playing with so far in Big East play. But the big question is, and it's really not going to get answered until we get, if they do make a deep run in March Madness.
Lindsay Matthews, hello from Connecticut. What a joy to see our team be who they really are. Magnificent. This is UConn basketball. Just check out the score at the end of the game. Hello, 5 players scoring about the same number of points. That's UConn basketball. It's a team effort. P.S. I listened to the Georgetown press conference after the game where it was pointed out that UConn was the best team in the country and they had too many All-Americans. Blah, blah, blah. So, she says, so. Oh, the first part of it, Ryan, we like to think so. UConn, the best team in the country, but what are you going to do? Just throw the talk about the transfer portal, just throw all that talk out the window?
Yeah, it's definitely the game has changed a lot in terms of the transfer portal and how many teams have the ability to pick up a lot of these top tier players, and recruiting it has become bigger. So I think that's just a part of the last couple years now. I'd say really that probably the last 5, 6 years that a lot of these teams have been growing bigger, getting bigger name players, and have the ability to get a lot more players than what they're used to. So it's definitely been good for the women's game as a whole. But of course, UConn is always going to get some of the best players, and I guess some people have a hard time dealing with that sometimes. But yeah, I think UConn, it took them a little while to really start to play UConn basketball like we're used to seeing all these years ago and years that Gino has been here. But I think, they finally found their lineup, and throughout this win streak, when they came home, couple games on the road throughout this win streak, I think they really have been getting back to their brand of basketball.
Okay, one more. This is interesting because I actually asked you this when we were down there watching warm-ups right near the court before the game on Sunday. This person goes, why has no one ever asked Nika Mule why she wears leg weights? Well, guess what? I did turn my head and ask Ryan that. Did I not, Ryan? He goes, or she, I'm sorry, whoever this is here. Also, it just says user IR. Also, what is an estimated time of return for Aubrey?
Yeah, and my answer to the to the first question about Nika, I assume it's to try to prevent injury. That would be my guess, but I honestly don't know. I've never really looked into it before. I always just assumed it was try to prevent injury. But yeah, I haven't seen an update yet on Aubrey. Like I said, I would expect an update to come maybe Tuesday, which I guess is already today. But
Today, yeah.
Tuesday, probably Wednesday, maybe before the game, I would expect an update.
All right, Ryan. It's Providence and UConn, still staying in the Big East Conference, and I will see you literally tomorrow night for the game. We're back down into the groove now, right? You're getting relaxed. You're not courtside anymore. You can grab your notepad and get ready for a Ryan game recap, a Ryan fresh recap, right? Phil and Rye on Listen Up.